We all love the NFL for the incredible drama, the jaw-dropping catches, the last-second field goals, the glory of hoisting the Lombardi Trophy. It's presented as the peak of sports competition, where legends are made on the field. But what if some of the league's biggest moments weren't exactly what they seemed? Today, we're looking at the most entertaining and bizarre conspiracy theories that have followed the league for decades. From Super Bowls that might have been manipulated to scandals the league desperately tried to cover up. These are the stories whispered by fans that suggest what we see on Sunday is only part of the game. We're not saying these are true, but they're way too compelling to just ignore. So let's get into the NFL's most shocking, alleged cover-ups. The master script. Let's kick things off with the biggest NFL conspiracy of them all. The theory that underpins everything else we're talking about today. The idea that the league is entirely scripted. Believers in this theory don't see the NFL as a legitimate sport, but as a multi-billion-dollar entertainment company, like pro wrestling, that cooks up storylines, decides winners and losers, and directs everyone from the players to the refs. One of the first things they'll point to is the league's own wording in legal battles. In certain antitrust court cases, the NFL has argued it's an entertainment product. To a skeptic, that's not just legal jargon. It's a confession that the main goal isn't fair play, but great TV. And what makes great TV? Underdog stories. Dynasties rising and falling. Miraculous comebacks. Think about the most unbelievable moments in NFL history. The Tuck Rule game that launched the Patriots dynasty. The Immaculate Reception that started the Steelers dynasty. Often a single controversial call by a referee can change a franchise's future for years. Are these just simple mistakes? Or are the officials, who are just part-time league employees, playing a role? Then you have to follow the money. The NFL's TV deals are worth over $100 billion. Networks aren't paying for boring blowouts. They want drama and narratives. This theory has only gotten more popular with the spread of legalized sports betting. The NFL's official partnerships with major sports books, profiting from an industry that could benefit from predictable outcomes. Of course, the logistics of scripting a whole season with thousands of people and keeping it a secret seems next to impossible. Still, the theory lives on. It taps into that gut feeling every fan had after a tough loss on a bad call. That maybe, just maybe, the game wasn't entirely on the level. The lights go out on the Super Bowl. The scene, February 3rd, 2013, Super Bowl 47 in New Orleans. The Baltimore Ravens are absolutely crushing the San Francisco 49ers. Early in the second half, Jacoby Jones returns a kickoff 108 yards for a touchdown, pushing the lead to 28-6. It's a blowout. The game feels over. And then, everything went dark. More than half the Superdome was plunged into darkness. For 34 long minutes, the game was put on hold. Players stretched, commentators scrambled, and over 100 million viewers were left totally confused. The official explanation was an abnormality in the system, caused by a faulty electrical relay that tripped a breaker. In other words, a technical glitch during the biggest game of the year was to blame. But the conspiracy theory has a much juicier explanation. What if it wasn't an accident? What if someone flipped a switch on purpose? Before the outage, the 49ers looked defeated. The Ravens had all the momentum. A 34-minute break gave the 49ers a chance to regroup, calm down, and totally change their game plan. And that's exactly what happened. When the lights came back on, the Niners were a different team. They stormed back with 17 straight points, turning a blowout into a nail-biter that came down to the final seconds. So, who would do it? Theories point to the network or the league itself trying to save a boring Super Bowl. More suspense means more viewers and more ad money. Was it just an embarrassing equipment failure? Or was it a deliberate move to make the game a classic, all for the sake of a better show? If you're enjoying this trip down the NFL rabbit hole, now's a great time to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. I do this all the time, and you don't want to miss what's coming up. Now, back to the theories. Deflategate, the scandal that wasn't. On January 18th, 2015, the New England Patriots blew out the Indianapolis Colts 45-7 in the AFC Championship. But the real story became the footballs. The allegation, which blew up into the scandal we all know as Deflategate, was that Patriots quarterback Tom Brady had a scheme to illegally deflate footballs below the league's required air pressure, making them easier to grip. The NFL launched a massive investigation, which concluded it was more probable than not that Patriots employees had tampered with the balls, and Brady was at least generally aware of it. The league came down hard: a $1 million fine, 2 lost draft picks, and a 4-game suspension for Tom Brady, the face of the NFL. On the surface, it looked like a classic cheating scandal, but for skeptics and Patriots fans, the theory is that Deflategate was never about the air in a football. For them, the scandal was a smokescreen. The theory suggests it was a PR move by the league office to distract from much bigger problems and to finally take the Patriots dynasty down a peg. At the time, the NFL was in full-blown crisis mode, facing huge backlash over its handling of mounting domestic violence cases against players and the growing evidence linking concussions to long-term brain damage. Then suddenly, a new story took over. It was a cheating scandal involving the league's most dominant and to many most hated team. For months, the news cycle was all about PSI and Tom Brady's cell phone, not concussions. Critics of the league's investigation point to the shaky science in the official report, which they argue ignored basic physics, specifically the ideal gas law, which explains how footballs naturally lose air pressure in cold weather. They also point to the massive punishment for what seemed like a minor infraction, and the league's intense focus on punishing Brady. So, was it a real investigation, or was it a calculated hit job by the league office to hide its bigger problems, with Tom Brady conveniently cast as the perfect villain? The Taylor Swift effect. The 2023-2024 NFL season will be remembered for one person, Taylor Swift. When the world's biggest pop star started dating Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce, it became a cultural phenomenon. Cameras found her in the luxury suite constantly. Ratings for Chiefs games, especially among young women, went through the roof. And just like a movie, the Chiefs, after a shaky regular season, went on a magical run and won the Super Bowl. It all seemed a little too perfect, right? This brings us to the newest NFL conspiracy theory, that the league saw a golden marketing opportunity and subtly nudged things to make sure the world's most famous romance got its fairy tale ending. The theory isn't that every game was fixed, but that a few key calls went the Chiefs' way when it mattered most. Fans who buy into this point to questionable penalties during the playoffs. In the AFC Championship against the Ravens, for example, several controversial calls and non-calls hurt Baltimore drives and helped Kansas City, causing an uproar online. Former NFL VP of officiating, Dean Blandino, even said his own brother was convinced the games were rigged, telling him they want Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl. Think about it from a storytelling perspective. The NFL was suddenly the backdrop for the world's biggest love story. The Super Bowl wasn't just a game. It was a global event where people were just as interested in a celebrity sighting as they were in the final score. Of course, the logical explanation is simple. The Chiefs are a fantastic team that got hot at the perfect time. But when the league is always looking for growth, Taylor Swift's arrival was a gift. The theory asks, did the league just enjoy the ride, or did they grab the steering wheel to make sure it ended with a victory celebration? The Immaculate Deception. For our last theory, we go back 50 years to one of the most famous and controversial plays in NFL history. It was December 23, 1972, in a playoff game between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Oakland Raiders. The Steelers were down 7-6 with just 22 seconds left. On 4th and 10, quarterback Terry Bradshaw threw a desperate pass that bounced off a collision of players and came flying back. Out of nowhere, rookie Franco Harris scooped the ball just before it hit the turf and ran it in for a game-winning touchdown. The crowd went insane. It was a miracle, the Immaculate Reception. But to this day, the Raiders call it the Immaculate Deception. The conspiracy is that the miracle was a fraud, and the call was made to create a legend. The controversy was all about a rule that's no longer in the game. A pass couldn't be legally caught by an offensive player if it was last touched by another offensive player. The question is, who did the ball hit? Did it bounce off Raiders defender Jack Tatum, making it a live ball? Or did it hit Steelers fullback Frenchie Fuqua, which would have made the catch illegal? The footage is inconclusive. Raiders players have sworn for half a century it hit Fuqua. Fuqua famously said he knows what happened, but will never tell. The referees huddled forever. Rumors even spread that the head official got on the phone with the league office. Maybe the first unofficial use of replay review. Another rumor claims they awarded the touchdown because they feared for their safety from the Pittsburgh crowd. In the end, the touchdown stood. The Steelers won, and that single play is credited with launching a dynasty that won 4 Super Bowls in 6 years. Was it pure improbable luck, or was it the league's original sin? A split-second decision made to create a story that will be told for generations. A league-wide script, a power outage to save a Super Bowl, a PR witch hunt, a celebrity romance pushing a team to a title, and a 50-year-old play that might be a lie. The NFL sells us on the purity of competition. But whether these theories are real, or just the wild imaginations of passionate fans, They expose our own skepticism. They make us question what we see. And they reveal how much we crave a good story and how suspicious we get when things seem just a little too perfect. In the end, maybe these stories are just another part of what makes the NFL so compelling. So, what do you think? Which of these theories do you find the most believable? Are there any other big NFL conspiracies I missed? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to keep digging into the world of sports, make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching.